It's the end of Thursday afternoon here in Liverpool. The rain is pelting down quite loudly, and I'm here with Tyson Seburn.
Hello.
He's going to talk to us about his passions.
Yeah, very happy to be interviewed.
Good. Well, could you tell me how your conference has gone so far?
It's been going really well. I mean, every year that I'm here, I really enjoy IATFEL. I think really it's just a different feeling for me because I'm a coordinator, so I have a different set of things that I need to do, and as a result, maybe it's a little bit of a different experience than another delegate.
So how many years have you been coming to the conference?
I counted it yesterday. I think this is my 6th, and for the last 2, it's been the coordinator position, and then before that, most of it's actually been on the TDSIG committee, to be honest.
And which role's more fun, become as a delegate or come as a coordinator?
Well, it comes with different responsibilities and different things that you have to do or don't have to do. And so I think as a coordinator, you are expected to attend certain things.
Yeah.
And so, the PCE we organize and attend, and that's really fun when it's playing out, actually. Yeah. And then the showcase day, and then maybe you have your own talk, and then there's evening events that the coordinators go to. So it's really busy as a coordinator, but it's just a different kind of fun.
Yeah. Well, I was actually at your PCE, and I really enjoyed it. But how was it from your side of things? Do you want to tell the audience about the PCE experience?
I really had a good time at the PCE. I think partly because being a coordinator, you're one of the people that's primary in its organization. And so many people might not realize it, but coordinators need to decide what their PCE topic is going to be almost a year in advance.
Yeah.
And so when you do that, we paired up with GISIG, Global Issues SIG, this year because we wanted to talk about social justice and teacher development, how those intersect. And we've been talking about it with them and planning it with them almost literally a year. So once it finally arrived on Monday, it was very rewarding so that we could see how it plays out. And it went smoothly. It went exactly the way that we'd planned. The plenaries were perfect. We had 2 of them that were a little bit longer. And then the short talks each looked at social justice from kind of a different angle. And so that was really the way we intended it to go. And then we had open space discussions where the attendees were able to talk to each one of the speakers to figure out a little more deeply into the topic than they were kind of afforded in just a regular talk. And so to see that actually play out the way that you planned, it was very rewarding and a great set of discussions, I think, on the intersection of social justice and teacher development.
No, I think the interaction level was really good between the speakers and the audience. But did you spot, or was there an emergent theme running through the talks?
I would say probably being critical and developing the criticality in our students and helping to enable them to, evaluate sort of the status quo of language learning, but more broadly education in general, and really to see whether or not we need to include social justice topics within our remit, or not. And I think the overwhelming response was yes, although it was tempered with a warning here and there as to be careful of the local context. Some things work and some things don't. So ultimately we have to keep that in mind.
So apart from you, Tyson, as coordinator, how was the experience for Tyson as the speaker?
So as a speaker, luckily I had my talk, which was "This Talk Will Make You Gay," which there was a certain amount of buzz around the title for a couple of days before I actually gave the talk. So I felt a little bit of nerves, but it's an important topic because what I was trying to show is how we often talk about the problem of LGBTQIA invisibility in materials, but we rarely show examples of what it would look like to include these narratives and how to do it appropriately. And so while there was a little bit of a tech issue at the very beginning of my talk, which fortunately didn't throw me off too much.
Good.
What it did allow me was the space in which to talk about a sample coursebook unit, a sort of dream coursebook unit that may or may not be ever published, at least by a traditional publisher, and show how we can include LGBTQIA narratives appropriately. And so really the bottom line advice to materials writers, which is sort of whom I was trying to aim at, was that if you're not LGBTQIA, you are capable of writing materials that include them appropriately, or us appropriately, I should really say.
Yeah.
But it behooves us to consult authentic voices from the community so that we can include authentic sounding variety of LGBTQIA in a way that isn't sort of just whitewashed and sanitized and so on. And so I'm going to be giving away my sample coursebook unit and a couple of other materials that I've done, my dream sort of scenarios, on my blog in about a month. So hopefully it may be the start of something.
Do you have an address for that?
Yes, it's 4c.ca, and that's FOURC.ca. And that's my blog, and I've talked about it quite a bit in the past, but that's where the materials will be published.
So if the present of ELT, or literally the present this week, there's been a lot of diversity, inclusion, social justice has been a kind of something a lot of people have commented on in the interviews. So that's where we are now. Where do you think the future of ELT could possibly be?
Well, I hope that all of those things are incorporated into the future of ELT. I would really like to see it go even beyond just inclusion and diversity. Of course, that's the step, but I think we also want to refer to Steve Brown and his talks, where we try to aim for more emancipatory action, where in fact what we have students in a critical pedagogy sort of sense is get them to question the status quo, not just work within and be successful within the status quo.
Yeah.
And so can they move out of the status quo and make bigger changes? And so we as language teachers, I think, may do a disservice to ourselves if we consider ourselves merely language technicians. And we're much more than that. We're educators, and as part of education, we need to help our students be able to be critical not only of the materials or of each other or the language that they're learning and so on, but also the system in which they live in, so that they can make better changes in the future.
Right. That's I don't know. It's wonderful listening to you, and I could listen to you for hours. However, it's time to wrap it up. Thank you for watching, and keep watching the channel. Bye.
Bye.